Good evening all. Today we are going to discuss about physical science for class 10 of Telangana State Board examinations. So coming to the syllabus, previously there were actually 12 chapters that were included in the syllabus. Due to pandemic, we all know the syllabus has been reduced. Some topics were deleted, some chapters were entirely deleted. So here I am going to categorize the topics under physics and chemistry as well. So let us look here. In physics, the first chapter actually deals with reflection of light at curved surfaces, and the fourth chapter deals with refraction. The fifth chapter we have a human high and colorful world, where the deleted portions is written on the red, where the prism, dispersion of light, scattering of light has been neglected. That is, this is the deleted portion for this academic year. And the electric current, complete chapter is there. And total electromagnetism in physics is completely deleted. Coming to the portion of chemistry, we have chemical equations, acids, bases and salts. Structure of atom is completely deleted. We have got in our syllabus classification of elements. Chemical bonding is deleted. Principles of metallurgy is included, whereas carbon and its compounds are neglected. So we have at most 4 chapters to cover in physics, nearly, I mean to say 3.5 chapters to cover in physics, and 4 chapters to cover in chemistry overall. So here I am going to deal with first few classes would be the first beginning classes would be covering up all the physics portion. The next we would be covering up with the chemistry part of it. Before we go with directly the lesson, I would just like to look at the structure blueprint of yours. Total the examination of your physical science is for 40 marks, as you all know. Out of 40 marks, the sections are divided like part A is for 30 marks and part B is for 10 marks. Coming to the section 1 consists of 2-mark questions. So we will have a choice for each of these sections as well. That would be great. But you could see here there are 6 questions given and you have to answer 3 questions out of 6 questions. It could be a combination of both physics and chemistry. We would be dealing with after each chapter we would be dealing with what are the type of questions that you would be getting it in your examinations. Previous year questions also we will be discussing in these classes. And the answers, how many sentences are we going to write the answers? The answers could be maximum written in 1 or 2 sentences, need not to write it in more than this actually. So this is about section 1, which carries 6 marks. 3 questions you are supposed to attempt, with each question carrying 2 marks. Then now coming to the section 2, you have got 4 marks. Each question carry 4 marks. And you all know that there are 4 questions. Out of 4 questions given, you are supposed to answer only 2 among them. And the answer could be written in 4 to 5 sentences maximum. So total overall you will be getting 8 marks. Section 3, you have 4 questions. You have to answer any 2 among them. The answers would be essay type. So you have to answer the questions in detail, but probably the questions will be in the A, B, C format. Like in each question there will be sub questions which can be asked. So here you will be writing the answers mostly in 8 to 12 sentences. So 2 questions, each question carry 8 marks. So total overall questions would be 60. So here if you look, the part A consists of almost 30 marks, whereas part B would be almost MCQ questions. Each question carry 1 mark. There should not be, the marks would not be counted if you are overwriting or you are scribbling it, only first answer would be taken into consideration. So while you are writing MCQ questions, make sure that you are not doing any mistakes. So read the question carefully twice, thrice, and answer these questions as well. Okay, so this is all about the blueprint of your this academic year examination for your physical science. So you will have the same pattern for your next. So totally 40 plus 40 will be your 80 science total marks this year would be. So coming to the syllabus, as you all know, as I discussed earlier, first I would be dealing with all the physics concepts like reflection of light, refract, refraction of light, then human eye, then I would go with electric current. After we finish these concepts, we would be going to chemistry concepts. So before I start with the reflection of light, so here first we would look at what is light. Why do we require light? So is it necessary that we need light in our day-to-day life? Yes, we all know it is a form of energy. Light is a form of energy that provides us what? Vision. So that means we can see here, we are able to see objects around us because of the presence of light only. If there is no lights, imagine that you are entered into a dark room. Can you see objects around you? Definitely not. So you can say that light plays a very important role for us to see things. So our vision is because of the light energy. So there are many natural phenomena because which are associated with the lights as well. So like we can say twinkling of stars, formation of rainbow, everything. So every day we look into the mirror also, right? So that is also one of the property of light. So before I go to directly jump into the curved mirrors concept, I would like to also introduce to you how light travels. What type of a wave is light? So, does light require a medium? We all know light does not require a medium to travel because you can see the sun is very, very far away from us. Some millions kilometers away from us. But still, light energy is able to reach us. So, there is no medium, no solid state, no liquid state, no gaseous state. So, but still we are able to receive the sun's light. So, light waves are, we can say they are electromagnetic waves. We can say the electromagnetic waves they are. So, when you talk about electromagnetic waves, so when I say electromagnetic waves, these waves do not require a medium to travel. Okay. So if we look at this theory, who has exactly given this theory of how does light travel? Whether light is traveling in form of wave, in form of particles, or in any other form. There were many scientists who have come up different theories. Okay, so we all know about Einstein theory. We all know about it very well. So Einstein scientist. So he was the first one who has introduced the theory of what? Light. So he has introduced the particle theory of light. Then there were other scientists like Huygens who has come up with wave theory of light. But who among them were correct? So some phenomena were opt for wave theory, some phenomena were apt for particle theory. So both the theories were absolutely correct. So that is why we combine and say light has a dual nature. So we can see here light can also uh, move in the form of a wave. Light also moves in the form of particles called photons. So the theory of light is duality. So wave, particle, duality you would call it as. This is a small introduction of our light energy. So we all know that light follows certain properties. Okay. So let us see what are the properties of light. So there are several properties of light which you could count about. Like as you go to higher classes, you would be learning about many properties of light. In your class 7, class 8, you might have learned about some properties of light in this. Like first important property is rectilinear propagation of light. So all of you know this rectilinear. Linear word itself gives you, it is line. So what is rectilinear? So light travels in a straight line. So we all know that light is traveling in a straight line format. So if light travels in a straight line, what are the effects that you can see because of this? As light travels in straight line, only we can see that shadows are formed. Our shadows are because of rectilinear propagation of light. Also, the eclipse formation. You might have learnt about solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, all this. So the eclipse formation phenomenon also is because of rectilinear propagation of light. And you also might have done an activity on pinhole camera. That also is because of rectilinear propagation of light. So before we jump into directly the concept of reflection, first we would like to look at what do you call when you draw a line with an arrow mark. This is represented as a ray. We do call it as ray of light. When I draw a line with an arrow mark, we should call this as ray of light. Suppose there are more than one ray of light. For example, when I on a tube light, you will not get one ray of light. So you will be getting too many rays of light. So you can say there are too many rays of light here. So there are different types which I could draw here exactly. It should be straight. See, if I take more than one line, there are 4 different lines here. For example, I have taken, you could draw my n number of lines here. So when you take 4 different lines, you could see there is a bunch of rays. Too many rays are there. So they are called as beam of light. So here there are, as the rays are parallel to each other, they should be straight, so they are parallel to each other. That is why they are called as parallel beam of light. So there is as the light rays, group of light rays, they are parallel to each other, we would call it as parallel beam of light. Here if you look, the diameters at any point in the parallel beam of light will be same. Not only this type of parallel beam of we have got other types beams of light also. If the rays of light are coming from different directions and they are meeting at a certain point. If the rays of light from different directions, they meet at a certain point. This we call it as convergent beam of light. So this is because the light rays are meeting, they are converging. So convergent beam of light, because there are more than one light ray. So light from different directions meet at a single point. We call convergent beam of light. Opposite to this, from one single point, the light rays are moving in different directions. So this we call it as diverge. They will move in different directions. So it is called divergent beam of light. If the light rays beat at a single point after reflection or whatever it may be, it is called convergent beam of light. If light rays